Alright, welcome back to some more PS2 stuff. Now I'll start going through my backlog, which is rather sizable. So let's get straight into it. It's going to take a long time. Right, so I have a couple of Japanese games here to start off. Now the PS2 is not compatible, it's not region free, so these games are not compatible with my European PS2, but I got these just for collection purposes. So first one is Boku no Natsuyasumi 2. I showed the third one in one of the PS3 videos, and I'm pretty sure I said the name incorrectly, but that happens. So yeah, this is the second game in the series. These games have never been released in the West, so you're on summer vacation, collecting bugs and fishing and doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's that. And then I have the PS2 The Best Price collection version of The Last Blade 1 and 2. These are fighting games by SNK. And I believe these are complete as well. Yes. Yep. Both of these. For the PS2, I do have some titles that are not complete. That's very unfortunate, but what can you do? When you're picking up used games, that's just how it goes sometimes. Right. Next up, I have one of the Dot Hack titles. I believe this is the first one, Dot Hack Infection. This is the only one that I have. These are JRPGs, getting somewhat expensive and collectible, so I had a chance at one point to get all four of them for a really good price, but I skipped it, and now I'm really sad that I didn't buy them, because they are by themselves, just one game, are pretty much the price that I would have paid for all four of them. So what can you do? Mistakes are made sometimes. Right, next up, Seven Sins. This is incomplete. Yeah, I only got the disc. Yeah, I'm not going to keep that front cover on the screen for long. This is The Sims spin-off that's kind of like trying to be naughty and edgy, but it's really just really ridiculous and just kind of funny in a bad way. Yeah, Seven Sins. Next up, I have a love for stupid licensed titles, and this is one of them. This is 24 the game for the PS2. Obviously, the television show was very popular in the early 2000s, and they made a game for it. It seems like a funny bad game, but I'll check it out at some point. Right, then I have Ace Combat Distant Thunder. This is the only one I have for the PS2 from this series. These are air combat titles, as you can probably tell from the name and the cover. Yeah, airplane combat titles. Then I have, what is this? I don't even know what this is. Action Man Atom Alpha Teens on Machines. Right. Some kind of vehicle combat game in the Action Man license. I don't really know. There are some really strange games for the PS2. Right, next license title. Aqua Teen Hunger Force Zombie Ninja Pro-Am. Another really strange looking license title. I've never watched this show. This was a very popular American cartoon back in the day. Don't really know anything about this game. Right. Oh, then I have a bunch of games here from the from the Hugo series. Right. I have 5 games here. So American viewers are probably at this point thinking, what is this nonsense? Hugo is I think he still is, a very popular children's cartoon character in Europe, especially in the Nordic countries and Central Europe, like Germany. And yeah, I have a bunch of games featuring this character. I have 5 here, so these are Agent Hugo, 3D action platformers. This is the first one. Then there is the sequel, Lemon Twist, and then Robo Rumble. I think there's a fourth one as well that I'm missing, but yeah, I have 3 of these. And then there, of course, there is a kart racing game, Hugo Bakazoom. These covers are just so stupid. I love them. And then there is a naval combat title, Hugo Cannon Cruise, where Hugo goes around on boats blowing stuff up. So yeah, 5 Hugo games. There was a television show in the early 2000s featuring Hugo that had it was one of these early game shows where you played on your mobile phone. You watched the television show and then you control the character using your mobile phone. It was really strange. I watched that a lot. So Hugo is a very popular character in certain parts of Europe. I also have a bunch of the PS1 titles that I'll show in some other video, but yeah. Right, next up, some Armored Core. This is the second Armored Core game in the series, and this is the sequel, Armored Core 2 Another Age. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the really expensive Armored Core games. Some of these PS2 titles are really, really getting expensive and collectible, so I only have these 2. So Mecha action games from Software. Right, then I have some of these games are apparently not alphabetized correctly, but who cares? This is Age of Empires 2, The Age of Kings. I have no idea why I would ever want to play Age of Empires on a PlayStation 2 console, but if I feel like it, I can with Age of Empires 2, The Age of Kings. Right. Some more licensed games. This is Alias, for the licensed game for the television show, a third-person shooter action game. Don't know much about it. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Who knows? All right. This game I really dislike the cover, so I never picked this game up back in the day, but I did get it used a couple of years ago. So this is Area 51. I really don't like the cover art. A really, really bad decision by them to release it with this cover art. I don't think a lot of people want to buy a game that has this cover. But apparently this is one of the best FPS titles on a PS2, so maybe I'll check it out at some point. Alright, next up I have a sealed copy here for a game that is going to be my retirement fund, so I'll sell this for $1 million in 20 years or so. This is Artist Collection, The Dog Island. I don't know what the Artist Collection is. I've never googled it, I don't know. But yeah, they released a game called The Dog Island that has a bunch of cartoon dogs on an island. So, and this is still sealed, so it's going to be very valuable. Right. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. I talked about the first game in one of the videos. It's alright. Not a huge fan of these Baldur's Gate spin-off titles, but maybe I'll check this one out at some point, and maybe it's better than the first one. I don't know. Then do I have more than one? No, I have one Batman game. So this is Batman Begins. This feels very light. Oh, there is a manual. It's just a really small one. So Batman Begins. Another movie licensed game. Some kind of third-person action game. Like this is one of the PS2. If you like third-person action games with really cheesy storylines and bad cutscenes, PS2 is your console. There are so many games like this on the system. Right. A game that I have played quite a bit but never finished. This is Battle Engine Aquila. I don't know how rare or expensive this game is, but I don't really see anyone talk about this. This is a first-person, like a mecha game. You're controlling some kind of a robot in first person. So I think this is a very underrated and well-made game, but I never finished it, so it's in my backlog pile. Battle Engine Aquila. Also, I don't think I've ever seen a copy of it in any like game store shelf or anywhere. So could be a rare one. I don't know. Right. Some more licensed stuff. This is Blade 2. Recently picked up renewed interest because Donkey made a video on this. I kind of like the PS1 Blade game. I've played that one and I kind of like it. It's like a guilty pleasure PS1 game for me. So I'm expecting this to be somewhat similar to it, so like really over the top action. So yeah, Blade 2. Right, on to the next stack. I have, how many stacks? I have 7 more stacks to go, so this is going to take a while. Right, what is this? Brave, the search for Spirit Dancer. I don't know anything about this. The only thing I remember about this game is that it was sealed when I picked it up, but for some reason I removed the plastics. I don't know why. So the value is lost, but that is unfortunate. Right. JRPG next. This is Breath of Fire, Dragon Quarter. I really like the art styles for the Dragon, not the Dragon, but the Breath of Fire titles. I also have the PS1 games. Yeah, never played it. Always been intrigued by this series, simply because the art style is really nice. The cover art is also very nice. Then I have, why is this here? Wait a second. Oh, this is the only one I have. Okay. I thought I had more of these, but no, apparently not. Burnout Revenge. So I'm missing some Burnout game. The first one, I guess. I don't remember. But yeah, racing game. The tagline is kind of hilarious. Vain loserit kääntävät toisen posken. Only losers turn the other cheek. I don't know if that's the same tagline for the English language cover, but yeah, that's kind of funny, I guess. Then I have a couple of games in the Cabela's series, so Big Game Hunter and Dangerous Hunts. Yeah, hunting simulators, very arcadey, and I don't know. I think I've played this one on the PC, and I liked it a lot when I was younger. I've played some Cabela's hunting game on the PC. And then Dangerous Hunts is the first one in a series of these. I don't know if this one is a rail shooter yet, but at least some of the later ones in the series are rail shooters. And you're just constantly getting attacked by packs of wolves and lions and just all kinds of animals. Everything is trying to kill you, and you just have to blast all of the animals. So yeah, Cabela's Dangerous Hunts and Big Game Hunter. Right, next up, a rare PS2 shoot 'em up. This is Castle Shikigami 2 War of the Worlds. There aren't that many shoot 'em ups for the system, or at least good ones. Some of the more expensive titles, like what is it called? I can't remember. There are a couple of really expensive shoot 'em up titles for the PS2. I don't have those, but yeah, Castle Shikigami 2 War of the Worlds. This is one of the better liked PS2 shoot 'em ups, so I'll probably play that at some point. Right, next up, some survival horror. This is Clock Tower 3. A quite sought after title, simply because of its association with the Clock Tower series, which is kind of very popular in horror game circles. Yeah, I've never played this one. I really should play it. I like survival horror games a lot, and that's a very, very good one, I've been told. So, right, what is this? Cold Winter. Is this the first-person shooter? Yes. So, the first-person shooter on a PS2. Cold Winter. Don't know much about it. Right. Then I have Colin McRae Rally 04, but I think I'm missing the disc. Yes, so it's just an empty case. So I don't know what happened to the disc. Where is it? I don't know, but it's missing. So there's an empty case for Colin McRae Rally 04. it's probably cheaper to just get a complete new copy of it and use that as a replacement case for some other game. Right, a classic PC game, Commandos 2, Men of Courage. I don't know anything about the original game, but yeah, this is one of those squad-based tactics action games. I don't know, like real-time tactics action games like Desperados. A very popular PC game from back in the day. Then another licensed title. This is Conan. What does not destroy me makes me stronger, says Conan on the cover. Yeah. Surprise, surprise, it's a 3D action game. I really like the cover for that one. Not for this one. Oh my god. Oh, this is one of the Phoenix Games titles. Crazy Golf. So yeah, it's a shovelware golf game. If you see this logo on a case, run away, because it's going to be so bad that it's not even funny. I've picked up some of these because they are quite easy to get and quite cheap. Some of these are collectible as well, so some of the Phoenix Games titles have gone up in price, which is ridiculous because they are barely games. Just a complete waste of time and money, but yeah. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices to collect things. Right. Crisis Zone. This is a Time Crisis spin-off title. A light gun game, and I don't have a light gun for the PS2, so I can't play it. Does it have a non-light gun mode in it? Some of these do, but I don't know. It supports the GunCon 2, but does it... Oh, you can play it with the DualShock as well, so that's good to know. So I could potentially play it at some point, but why would I want to play a light gun game with a DualShock controller? Doesn't sound good. Right, some more licensed stuff. This is CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, 3 Dimensions of Murder. Looks really bad, but you know, I like having these stupid games in my collection, so that's my problem. One of my problems in life, having to get all of these games. Right, then some good games. Dark Cloud and the sequel, Dark Chronicle. I've started playing this game so many times. When I was younger, I had the demo disc for this, and I played it over and over again. I was obsessed with it, but I never found the game anywhere. And then when I grew older, at some point it just popped in my head, like, what if I just bought Dark Cloud and started playing it again? And I found it for cheap and I got it. And I started playing it again, and then something came up and I just abandoned it again. So I played the first couple of hours of this game for dozens of times, but I never finished it. Yeah, like this is a third-person action RPG where you are dungeon crawling and rebuilding the town that you live in. Very fun game, but yeah, I should get back to it at some point. And then Dark Chronicle is the sequel. Some people like this a lot, some people don't like it at all. I guess it's very different from the original game, so yeah. Right, one of the weirder games in my collection. Also one that I don't understand why this is so cheap still. So there's Demolition Girl, and the cover art says everything. This is basically a giant monster game where the giant monster is a woman wearing bikini, just a giant lady walking around the town, crushing everything, and you have to fight against this giant menace of a woman. But yeah, this is a very cheap game still, so I would suggest picking it up while it still is, because usually these kind of strange, weird Japanese games, I think this is Japanese. I could be mistaken, but it seems like a Japanese game. So these usually go up in price. Right. Then I have the sequel for Destroy All Humans 2. Never played the sequel. I think there's also a PS4 version of this game, so I'll probably check that one out at some point. Right. On to the next stack. We have a puzzle game here, Detonator. Looks like a game that a lot of people wouldn't like at all, but looks like something that I would like. So it's a strange, visually pleasing puzzle game. Then I have, what do I have? I have one game from the Devil May Cry series, so this is the third one. Yeah, in one of the earlier videos I showed the HD collection for the PS3. There's also an HD collection for the PS4, so yeah. But I like this release because it has a demo disc for Monster Hunter, so makes it a little bit more special than your just a regular Black Label release. So Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening. Then I also have one game in the Disgaea series here. So this is the second one, Disgaea 2 Cursed Memories, which does come with a soundtrack CD. It's like a compiler disc, so it's not the full soundtrack, but some music. So again, something a little bit more special. I think there is a re-release for this on the PS4, maybe PS5, but yeah. Disgaea 2. Then one of the more how would I even describe it? Strange 3D platformers on the system. This is the Dog's Life licensed title, which apparently is really good. I don't know if that is correct, but I've been told that this is a hidden gem on the PS2. So you are playing as a dog, and you can poop, and you can smell stuff, and yeah, it's weird. A licensed title for the movie, I think. Right. Next up, Dragon Quest: The Journey of the Cursed King. So Dragon Quest, what is it? Is it 8 or 7? I think it's 8. I can't remember. There are too many games in this series. I can't remember. Or not too many games in the series because they're all like beloved JRPG classics. But yeah, I never remember which of these games is which. Right. Then I have a couple of Drakengard games here. The original and the second one. So these are the games that, this has a Finnish back cover. That's probably worth something, I guess. Does this one have it as well? No, this is just in English. Yeah, Drakengard. These are the games that are like precursors to the Nier series. So one of the endings in Drakengard is where the original Nier game starts off from. So yeah, there's that connection. That's why these games are quite expensive now. Next up, Driver 3. Third one in the series. Never played it. Then I have a fighting game collection that is somewhat collectible. This is Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 1. Not the most rare game out there, but not the rarest game out there, but quite expensive unless you get lucky like I did. I paid close to nothing for this. Yeah, has the original Fatal Fury, the second one, the third one, and the special version of the first one. Then some Final Fantasy titles. This is 10, 10-2, 12. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So I've talked about Final Fantasy in multiple previous videos. Never played any of these games. But yeah, I own Final Fantasy X and X2 for PS2, 3, and 4, I think, but I've never played them. 12, I think that's the only copy that I have. Right. Somewhat obscure title coming up next. Is this a European? I think this is a European exclusive. It has to be. This is Firefighter FD18, released by Konami. So, as you can probably tell, this is a firefighting game. You play as a firefighter. And this is again one of those games that sometimes pops up in hidden gem videos, but not very often. Quite an obscure title. Right. Freedom Fighters. My copy of this game is quite beat up, but I think it fits the game, so I'm not upgrading this at some point. The cover is very damaged from up top. Yeah, this is a game by IO Interactive, right? It doesn't say it anywhere, no. From the makers of Hitman 2, so IO Interactive. One of the few games that IO has made besides Hitman titles. At least after they started making Hitman games, they haven't really done that much else. So, a very well-liked game. Has a lot of fans on PC as well. All right, James Bond. This is from Russia with Love. Has the likeness of Sean Connery as well. One of the better liked shooters on the PS2. So I should probably play it at some point. Then I have some more shooters here. This is Full Spectrum Warrior. And then I also have the sequel, Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers. I never played any of the games in this series. These are third-person shooters, I think. Modern military shooters. Again, a very well-liked series on a PC back in the day. Yeah. Alright, some more licensed games. Wow, this is amazing. I have a couple of Garfield games here. I'm missing the expensive one, so there's one that is very collectible, but I have just, Garfield, this one. And then I have Garfield Lasagna World Tour, both with Nordic covers. So, yeah, just some goofy Garfield platforming games. The expensive one, what is it called? Garfield Saving Arlene or something like that. I don't have that one, but I don't really care. I don't consider it much of a lacking in my collection. I couldn't come up with a better phrase for that, so that's what we have to deal with. All right. Horror titles. This is Ghost Hunter. A game that a lot of people like a lot. But I don't know really anything about this. I think it's a third-person shooter. It had like the cover and the pictures of the gameplay make it kind of seem like it's similar to the Thing licensed game. It has the same kind of look. I don't know if it plays like anything like it, but yeah. Ghost Hunter. Then what else do we have? 2 more games for this video before I move on to the next one, because there isn't any room on the screen anymore. Well, all right, well, we'll end up with some really good stuff, right? So next up, Giants Citizen Kabuto. This game came and went. A lot of people really liked this back then. I remember reading reviews for this in gaming magazines, and people were really into this title. Yeah, it's a third-person action game, but it also has like this giant monster in it. Looks quite interesting. Also a game that I think has been kind of forgotten in time. You rarely hear people talk about Giants Citizen Kabuto, right? And then I'll end with God Hand. So this is one of the more sought-after, expensive PS2 titles. I think by Capcom, released by Capcom. This has gained a lot of notoriety because of YouTube. A lot of people are making videos of this game. A really silly, ridiculous 3D beat 'em up title by the people who made Okami, I think. Isn't this I'm pretty sure this is by the people who made Okami. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. This is by Clover. There isn't a Clover logo anywhere, but I'm pretty sure that's right. So yeah, this is very expensive. Seems like a good time. I should play it, but I just haven't had the time for it. Reviewed very badly back in the day, but many things that are incredible often do review badly. So yeah, that's the first part of my backlog. We got to letter G. I have a bunch of stacks here left, so I'll see you again in a couple of days, and I'll talk a little bit more about some PS2 stuff. Yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll be back.